Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of the Kinocast. I've started the podcast, and that is a thing that I've done. I'll let Ruben do the introductions in a second, but I just want to say first off, I've got a wonderful vibe right now. It's for us in America, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I have the rest of the week off of work, so right now is like that wonderful time, like right before Christmas break at school, like it's your last day, and then you get to go home for a couple weeks. So that's my feeling right now. I'm free, and I get to go travel home to be with my family for the rest of the weekend right after this. So I'm feeling great. Ruben, now you get to do the actual work.
His soul's free again, but hello. Welcome to the episode for today, tonight, or wherever the hell you are. Well, we're with returning guest Jacob Hazewinkel. So he's back finally. And we're here with Daffy. Good lad.
That's me.
Look at that shiny Discord Nitro profile picture. Whenever he speaks, you can see his eyes.
Yes, sir.
It's flexing on us harder than Jacob can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, tonight is the Blade Runner duology episode. Or tonight, or today. Oh my god, I should... Okay.
It only took us 4 episodes to get there.
Ding, ding. But yeah, we'll discuss them.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with the first original Blade Runner. So does everyone have his legal copy of the movie by hand? Because I assume everyone watched it legally.
I watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I do own the Blu-rays, the dual Blu-ray for both of them, so that's how I have them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call Warner Brothers see if this is right. So
I'm pretty sure. I've sent you a picture before in some capacity.
You might have.
I'll use my connection with Zack Snyder to check the databases at Warner Brothers.
Oh, so you use Zack Snyder, huh? Did you watch it in black and white 4x3? Busted.
I just leave.
So I guess I'll just start out with when was the first time everyone at least watched this?
Oh, the original Blade Runner.
When was? Yeah.
I watched it. I think a month before 2049 came out, which is 2017. And it's such a sad story because I couldn't go see 2049 in cinemas because at that time I was 15 years old. Yes, you heard it right. And the movie was rated 16. So I could not go in. I did not see the glorious Roger Deakins on IMAX.
That's rough.
That's rough, buddy.
Why do you think that you're allowed to talk about this movie on the podcast then? You can't talk about this movie if you haven't seen it in IMAX. That's just a very well-known rule.
Oh, shit. I have failed Roger Deakins, and I failed Christopher Nolan. I know he's nothing to do with Blade Runner, but I know I failed him.
Well, I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
I didn't see the original till Halloween of this year.
Wow. I mean, better late than never, I guess.
I always I saw the theaters.
So you must have been very confused.
No, I understood some of it because I always loved the cyberpunk genre on that. I just I don't know. I feel like they did a good job of introducing it to new people without having to see the original.
That's nice. Also, yeah, Taylor, you go. I was asking you when you saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I a few years ago, it was probably the New Year's Eve from 2016 into 2017, I think. What year did 2049 come out? Was it 2017?
2017.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the New Year's of 2016, I think I was really sad because my plans to hang out with my friends like we did every year fell through. So I was alone, and it was very sad and pathetic. And I was like, I'll put on Blade Runner. And it was after midnight, and I got an hour into it and fell asleep. So then I don't remember exactly when I watched it fully, but it was pretty soon before 2049 came out because I really wanted to see 2049, but I was like, I have to watch this stupid movie before I do it. So I think I procrastinated pretty close to the release, but I did watch it before I watched 2049.
Also, yeah,
and I've only seen the final cut. the last one. That's the only one I've seen.
and this year was the first year I saw the other two cuts, the international theatrical cut and the work print version.
I feel like the theatrical cut, like I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips and stuff. That's the one with the narration, right?
It's the one with the rare narration, and
Yeah.
Deckard says the gamer word.
Yeah,
Does he
have seen
really?
that clip.
He does.
He does.
Wow.
He does. He's describing a cop or something. He'd be like, "This cop would be the type to say this word," and it's like kind of
Huh.
Yeah.
it's very strange.
That's
But
interesting.
I feel like that cut you should watch after you've seen like the final cut. or
Yeah, you
something.
should watch
After
all
the
the
second
other
one.
cuts after you've seen the first one, because the other cuts are mostly for the fans, you know. And the work print
Right.
version, which is the other version I saw, is basically it was the version before it hit cinemas, but then it got like kind of screwed over by execs because in the theatrical cut the movie ends on a happy note. In the final cut, it just ends with the doors closing. Let me describe the ending for the international theatrical cut. It's basically them driving in a forest, you know, living a happy life. But
And
I like the ending of
Deckard-
Final Cut more because, it is ending of Final Cut, but I think also work print. But it just closes the door, badass music plays, and it gives off the vibe that they're being hunted.
yeah, and the theatrical cut ending, it's like Deckard explains. He's like, Tyrell gave her, a natural lifespan. She's not gonna die in 4 years or whatever. But like it's kind of, you don't really know, I guess. Like you kind of get that she's a bit more special of a replicant, but
Yeah.
you don't know what's different until like 2049 when you learn that she could have children or whatever.
Yeah.
I always liked how they made it just like you wonder if like Deckard's also a replicant or not. Like it leaves that questionable. Even in the newest one, 2049, it still makes you wonder. Like, oh shit, he could maybe be
Yeah.
a replicant.
That is neat. Like I know that was one of people's like primary concerns is they didn't really want it confirmed in 2049, or at least didn't want it explicitly stated that he was a replicant. I think is what I saw the most. So it was very interesting. I would definitely lean towards. I think it's all but said that he was a real person.
So,
But I do think it's neat how it manages to still be a sequel without answering.
yeah,
that
so
question
the thing
definitively.
is, basically the question is more important. The question
Yeah.
that we focus on is
Yeah.
is pretty
It's more
awesome,
important than the answer.
instead of a straight answer. That's what I really like.
Yeah.
And I do like how Wallace, he obviously knows whatever the answer may be, and he's like telling Deckard, he's like, "Would you like to know whether it was, a calculated thing that you fell in love, or was it real?" And Deckard just doesn't give a shit, and he's like,
Yeah,
I
it
know
could
it's
be
real.
anything.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
"Yeah."
Yeah, and I do
sorry.
like that it's sorry. Okay, I will stop. You know.
Okay, I was just gonna say, even though it doesn't matter if he is or not, it's better if it's never stated, because like everyone, even like Harrison Ford has his own idea versus Ridley Scott, whatever. I like to think he is human, just so it's that coming together of human and replicants. That's what makes more sense to me. But again, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I like the additional raised question of the sequel that it brings up this like not only like is he a replicant or not, but were they manufactured to meet in the original? Like was it actual happenstance, or was somebody who would no longer be in the picture now since the Tyrell Court doesn't technically exist anymore? Did somebody engineer that? Which again, that would be like a lost plot. Like there's no one around to care about that would have set that up to care about what happened. So it's almost it is technically kind of irrelevant. It's irrelevant to Deckard, but I like that it brings up another question kind of subtly. That's also the question is more important than the answer. It doesn't have to answer it, but it just kind of raises that extra possibility.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
and that's the thing, and I know we'll get into 2049 itself later, but it's just I think it's a good sequel in that it enhances the original, rather than having to trample over what made it good to begin with.
Yeah. It's like Denis Villeneuve said when he was asked why he wanted to do Blade Runner. He just said, "I don't want anyone else to fuck it up."
I mean, he's like, I haven't seen all his movies, but all of the ones I've seen, they're all good. So like, if anyone was able, to do it right, it was him, and he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
not so much.
He did a good job making it like feel different, but at the same time, like keeping the same aesthetic or like.
But also props to the screenwriters, the score by Hans Zimmer, the mostly the cinematography by Roger Deakins.
Yes,
it's like every other frame in that movie is something I could print out and frame on my wall.
Yeah,
it's just gorgeous, and it's very funny now because this is actually only the second time I've seen it. It's just such a movie that I feel like I have to dedicate, like I have to be in the mood for and dedicate such a large block of time to and watch it right.
Yeah,
but it's very interesting now since so many stills of that movie have become memes and such now. So to go through and like have that stand out, it's a movie I'd only seen one time, but is still so iconic in my mind, even though I've only seen it once in 3 years.
I remember watching the Oscars of that year, or the year after 2049 came out, and I jumped out of my seat when Roger Deakins won it because he really deserved it.
Yeah, that movie wasn't nominated for Best Picture, was it?
No.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, but he did win cinematography.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
One thing that blew my mind when I first saw it, and still blows my mind, are some of the CGI is just phenomenal. Like when Joy and that one, I don't remember her name, but when they like merge or whatever, they sync up.
Yeah.
Like when I first saw that, I turned to my friend and I was like, "How the hell did they manage this?"
Yeah,
because it just looks so incredible. Everything with
I like how some shots of her are like transparency, but some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it gives her this like it gives that hologram feel without making her blue or something.
Yeah.
I guess they make her purple at some point, but and then. I didn't know, but until I watched that Corridor Crew video, but like the reconstruction of Rachel was entirely CGI. Apparently,
yeah.
I thought they just got a body double and like did a face thing. It just did it right, not like Rogue One. But apparently she was entirely CGI. I think is what they said, or at least mostly. That blew my mind.
It was just her face that was CGI.
Yeah.
Was it like? It's still like it.
Yeah.
Looked like ripped right from the original Blade Runner, but it didn't look like.
Yeah, and they shot like the good angles too, so like it's not obvious, and that like they put enough darkness and lighting. It was perfect.
Sometimes it was a little blurry, so you couldn't tell.
It's artificial.
Yeah,
must be very expensive.
And this is
that's what.
Go ahead.
That's what I liked with the original is like. The effects for it still kind of holds up to this day because it was like the flying cars and whatnot.
Yeah,
still just to me at least, it looks really good.
Yeah, that's. I think we should kind of go back to the first Blade Runner now. Yeah, basically, but the cinematography in that one as well, so iconic. But the thing is, as I said, I actually didn't say it, but the final cut added a green filter over the whole movie. And those don't show up in the other 4 cuts. And I think the movie looks pretty without the green tint. So, for if you guys listening or watching, go search it up because it's a huge difference. And I think the color,
a green tint.
Yeah, exactly. With
Lord of the Rings coming up, it has a weird tint.
But hey, the 4Ks came out like today, and they removed it. So, but okay, back to Blade Runner before somebody points it out again.
Yeah, one of the things. Okay, you can go first, Taylor.
Okay, sorry. God, I hate Discord lag. My thoughts with Blade Runner are honestly can just be summed up that I think it's a peak style over substance movie. and there's that one letterbox review that's like Ridley Scott finished the visuals and the sound design and then just took a nap throughout the rest of production before he got to the plot. And that's pretty much how I feel about this movie. It's very pretty, and I think that it that final scene, the tears in the rain scene in dialogue, is iconic for a reason, and it's very well done. But I'm just bored when I watch it. It's just
I'm not bored, but I think 2049 is more exciting to me. But I think out of all the cuts I've seen, the work print version is actually the shortest. It's 7 minutes shorter. And I think the pacing in that one goes like very fast.
Okay.
So, and I dig that. But the final cut is not bad in itself, you know. It's still watchable to me. And it's a beautiful movie. It's a great looking film, and that's what keeps it up, you know. Yeah, but the thing is, if you watch the theatrical cut, the narration kind of ruins it. Yeah. Because you focus on the narration, but not on the eye candy that's being given to you.
Yeah. Well, because even adding narration is, you know, it's wanting you to focus on the plot more, but that's still not the point of the movie. There's still not a lot of plot there to begin with. I think there's a lot to extrapolate from the movie, like after watching it, like a lot to take away from it, but not really a lot to actually kind of, if that makes sense, not a lot to really pay attention to that's exciting throughout the movie itself. Like 2049 is has such a focus on style as well, but I think it does a much better job of marrying plot into it.
Well, Blade Runner 2049 has like a bigger plot, but the first movie is just a simple one. He's a Blade Runner. He has to hunt down Nexus models. That's it. That's all you need. And then you enjoy the eye candy, enjoy the action, enjoy the music. That's it. I
think the world and the visuals set up something so interesting and exciting, though, and that it's just kind of a letdown that, like, the actual plot sequence is just kind of boring, in my opinion. Like, it's not as exciting as at least I would be expecting from something that looks like that.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly not that exciting, but everything else kind of makes up for it to me.
Yeah, I respect what it's done for the genre.
Thing. Yeah, it took something.
It started the
new.
genre, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I mean, everyone looks at it for inspiration.
So you go ahead, Jacob. It is your turn to talk.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like, obviously it's no 2049, but I don't want to compare it too much. But one of the weird things, I think I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere, and I found it interesting. So when I was rewatching it yesterday, I was paying attention. But someone somewhere said that everyone in the original Blade Runner talks like it's in a dream, like everything is in a dream.
Yeah.
And then when you rewatch the movie with that mindset, it kind of changes. For me, it just makes it a little more interesting, because it's like, oh, that's why people have weird speech patterns. They say weird things.
Yeah, like,
you know, like they kind of answer, you know, inquiries very strangely. Like the dialogue in that movie is very odd.
But yeah, exactly.
It's charming in a way.
When he's fighting, what's the replicant called? Not at the end, but at the middle, one of the mustache. Yeah, Leon. He slaps him and said, "Wake up, time to die." That's really weird.
Yeah, I love the one, like, he just gets grabbed from behind and Deckard's just like, Leon, like it's a friend, like an old friend that he's known, but he's never met this guy before.
Yeah, exactly.
I also love how in the original Blade Runner, like, Deckard, you know, they talk about him at the beginning. He's like, oh, I need your magic. Like, no one can do this job like you, Deckard. But throughout the movie, he kind of sucks. Like, I don't know, he doesn't expertly take down any of the replicants. And two of them, the two males, he doesn't even take down himself. Well, Leon gets shot by Rachel, and then
Roy dies by himself.
Roy just, you know, doesn't even want to kill Deckard. He just wants Deckard to, like, learn or whatever.
It's the world's worst best Blade Runner.
I know he gets so lucky because both of the girls,
But they
Triss, I think, and then the other one, like, could have killed him.
but they
but-
did say these are
yeah.
harder to kill, I think. But yeah,
I guess
still,
they are
he's
combat
not very
models,
elegant.
but
Yeah, and I think Jacob, both you and Daffy kind of pinpointed two things that kind of really hit why I just don't really like the movie that much. Being that I'm not a huge fan of movies that are like that dreamlike kind of thing, where you have this distance to it. Things are just off in that kind of way. It's like you're watching a movie underwater, if that makes sense. I'm just not generally a fan of that. And I haven't had a great track record with classic like 70s 80s movies that were the first to do things and are responsible for a lot of things we know now.
I don't think you have a good track record with a lot of movies.
Shut up, Ruben. But where I haven't seen those movies growing up, I've seen those movies as an adult, so I've seen all the things that have taken things from those movies, which means I've seen those things a lot, and to go back to those, a movie like Alien or Blade Runner just makes them feel kind of basic in comparison. That's not the fault of the movies at all, obviously, and they both have things that they do very, very well. It's just I get kind of filtered on, like, I've already seen this a lot, so I'm just not really into the base form, even though they deserve all the credit they get. I just get filtered on movies like that.
Yeah, also, there's only one scene that I do not like in this movie, and it's the love scene.
Yeah.
That is such an awkward... It's definitely a product of his time. Like, you couldn't get away with that.
Yeah, I think
Now,
it's going for a noir type, you know? Like
yeah,
that.
it's like Decker's just trying to force her to feel emotion. Not force her, but, like, be like, feel emotion, you know, you're okay, it's fine. But, like, he does it in such a rapey way.
Yeah,
There's no
the
other
way
way
he
to say
closes
it.
that door or stops that door.
I also did like the scene where the girl does a bunch of fucking front flips in that. It was really off-putting.
I love that.
The where she gets shot. I think that's like when she's trembling on the ground or something. She's having a seizure.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I wouldn't say horrifying. It's kind of haunting, you know. That
I could have
those
stopped
screams.
laughing.
On one hand, it's like really silly, but on the other hand, it's like the sound too, and all the echoes and stuff.
Yeah,
Really make it uncomfortable.
and
I
that,
don't
kids,
like
is why sound in movies is important. Just saying.
Notice how we all just stared at you. Yeah.
I wrote down my thoughts, like, completely extrapolated in the group on this at one point, and I was trying to find it, but I don't think I'll be able to. It was a long time ago. But there's one thing, so I think I just want to say about Blade Runner, the last thing I really want to say about the movie is just that it's a very, like, some people love it, and some people don't like it at all and get nothing out of it. So I think this is a movie that really just either makes you feel something or doesn't. Because, like, even though I don't really like it, I recognize all the, like, the visuals are fantastic and how there's a lot of appeal there, but I still don't feel anything when I watch it. I don't get that feeling. And I think that's the biggest thing I hear from people that do like it, is just kind of how it makes them feel. So I think this is one, I don't know, and maybe this is all just nonsense, but I think this is a movie that really comes down to whether you can acknowledge its strengths or not. You're either going to like it or you're not going to like it, and that's just going to happen. It's just really how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's just depending on what you're looking forward to in the movie.
I think
it also... Oh, go ahead, Daffy.
Sorry. I just love, like, the message. I think the 2049 goes into it more, but, like, the message of, like, what does it mean to be human? Like, because, like, the replicants, they're human too, but not exactly. But they have human thoughts in that. But, like, the sequel goes more into a lot more because of, like, the soul and all that stuff. But I think this film does a good job with it by, like, making you wonder, like, what does it mean to be human? Like, what's so unique about being a human and a replicant?
Also, let's go to the score about Vangelis. The Vangelis score is not in the work print version because it's still early version of the movie, and Tears in the Rain does not hit without Vangelis.
Yeah, I'd imagine the score is pretty important. Like, it's not as bombastic as something like Star Wars, I guess.
Or
but
2049.
you definitely recognize it when you hear it elsewhere. Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know, it's very strange music, but it's the tone.
It's different.
If it's the tone of the final cut, director's cut, much better than I think it would the theatrical cut. Not that, I haven't seen all the theatrical cut, so I can't speak for it. But I feel like, narration on top of that score just wouldn't work at all.
No, it does not. It's better if you just look at the pretty visuals and have the nice Vangelis score grace your ears. It just works. It just works. Peanut butter jelly works.
Yeah, and going back to Taylor's comment about like feeling something from the movie, I think at least for me personally, it depends on when you saw it. I think that can affect how you feel. I think the first viewing of that movie is very important.
Yeah.
Because like when I first saw it, it was a pretty vulnerable time for me, and I saw it with a friend I didn't really know very well at the time, but like, I don't know. I didn't even know much about the movie. It was just like, oh, I heard this is a cult classic. Let's go watch this. He's like, yeah, sure, because our university was putting on a thing, and I ended up liking it enough to go back to watch the sequel the next week, and we'll talk about that, a bit later. But when I saw it, I was like, it resonated with me, I guess, a little bit, especially that ending scene and everything. So, yeah, it was a good movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10 out of 64 bits.
All right. Well, Daffy, what would you give it?
I think I gave it on Letterboxd. I think I gave it a perfect 5 because I really liked it. Just at some points, it felt like Taylor said, like really underwater, slow in that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just love everything. I love the genre as a whole. I love the colors of the movie. That's what really popped out for me.
Yeah,
and like it really sets a tone, and it's straightforward with the tone for the whole movie, and I love that. And I think overall, I just really like it, especially because, like I said earlier, with the theme of what does it mean to be like human and whatnot. So I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Nice. Taylor, what would you give it?
I don't really feel like I can score this movie, honestly, because I think all the like more concrete qualities are fantastic, like the visuals, the score, but I just don't get anything from the plot and the story, and I don't like any of that. I don't connect with it. I didn't get anything out of it. I don't necessarily think that all that is bad, though. That was just kind of my subjective take from it, while it's got a lot of really good qualities otherwise. But so my feelings aren't really positive on it, but that's not really representative of what I think the quality of the movie is. So I don't know. It's kind of complicated. No score I would give it really feels right. So
Interesting.
Unsurprising that
So 4 out of 10
a
it is.
movie about being human Taylor finds confusing.
What? Sorry. What did you say that I find confusing, Jacob?
I said it's interesting how
Could you
a movie
repeat
about
the question?
being human Taylor finds confusing. I'm making fun of you.
He also
By
has
the
an
way.
upgrade poster behind him. Does that say anything?
So
So
Ruben,
now-
what would you give it?
Oh, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. Maybe a 9. But the international theatrical cut, I would give a 7. The work print, I would give an 8. And then the final cut, I would give like an 8 or a 9. So, yeah, Kino, 2 thumbs up. 6 out of 10 in YMS language.
Robert approves.
All right, well,
Two
let's
flexes.
go to the meme, the greatest movie of all time, according to, I think, the Kinoplex Letterboxd 250, I think. Is it the number one movie on The Kinoplex
If it isn't,
250,
it should
or
be.
is it like Joker or something?
I think it's Blade Runner.
The original one.
No, the new 2049.
Okay. Well, the number one
I'm pretty
film,
sure half of the people haven't seen the original, to be honest.
the only film, the one with colors, 2049, starring literally all of us. Everyone is in there.
Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job in that movie.
Yeah, honestly, man.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, we all had to take turns, obviously, for each scene.
Yeah.
I was Shower K. That was my one scene. That's that's the one I did.
I was the one on the bridge, looking at the Joy, with the when he's got the nose thing. Yeah, that one was me.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I was the one that got laid, you know.
I was either the one that screamed "God damn it" or the one that dies.
Oh,
Ooh,
maybe both.
you're picking iconic.
Here's my hot take: he doesn't die at the end. It's never explicit, and I will not accept.
Once again, it's more about the question
I think
than
he's
the
lying.
answer.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm glad it. Which personally, I was like, when people came away with like, oh, he died at the end. We're talking about him dying at the end. I was like, no, he didn't. Like because in a way of like, not like I'm combating against that claim, but just like, wait, he died. Like I didn't really get that vibe at all. Because I'm an idiot, I guess. But I don't know. I do like that it does that at the end. It doesn't really need to give you a conclusive future for Kay. Like, sure, he probably bled out from his injuries and died, but it leaves him there on the steps after kind of the mission is complete, because that's kind of the whole point, that he doesn't matter. Like, he's not important.
No,
in any way. So what happens to him doesn't really matter.
So
yeah.
But he doesn't die. So
let's just go.
Well, I mean, he kind of just stops moving. You kind of see that, and he kind of goes, and then stops moving for like 5
No, bro,
seconds.
he's
and
just-
then-
he's
He's
taking a nap.
he's a spark for the revolution, though. That's what I interpreted from like the ending is like.
huh.
I'm pretty sure you're
Now,
talking
like,
about Last
every-
Jedi, bro.
Oh yeah. No, like with Sorry. What I interpreted from it is like when he like went to go show Deckard his daughter and all that, he's showing that like
He
other replicants can they could rise up in that they're just like humans in that.
he did what he was supposed to do. He lived for it, and he's got nothing to live
He finally
for
had a
anymore. I think.
purpose.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
he's bleeding out. Deckard is not really his father, and hologram GF waifu gone.
It's dead. Yeah. I still let out an audible gasp every time she gets stepped. I don't know how a death can hurt so much when it's just like a rectangle getting stepped on. But I still feel it. Like, ugh.
Pain. The pain we all
Well, I
felt
think
on
it's
set.
because it's Ana de Armas.
Yeah, that I mean, it does kind of hit that, like,
It's such a lovable performance, you know.
you almost get that. I feel like you kind of get that same relationship with Joy as a character in a movie that Kay does, because she's a product that's meant to like be appealing and provide companionship to whoever buys it. So I almost feel like you kind of get that same connection with her, even just watching the movie. So it kind of hits a bit personally when she dies.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
So basically, there's been discussion about if Joy's love for Kay was real or not, but that's all she's programmed to do.
Yeah. Okay, and that's another thing. I don't think that matters, right? Like, it's real to him, and it's real to her on a subjective level. It doesn't matter whether she's programmed to do it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Also, so let me just go back a bit, and let's just talk about the first time we all saw this movie. This is a bit off topic, but this is all. First time I saw this was because I was not allowed to go to theaters. I saw it the first time in 2017 on a shitty cam rip version.
No.
And then I waited till it came out on digital, and then I watched it for the second time.
I'm sorry for using my computer right now. I'm just going to.
I'm so sorry, Papa Deacons.
I'm going to demod you in the Kinoplex right now.
Hey, you're the one who didn't appreciate the first Blade Runner, so watch your mouth.
That's fair. It evens out. I
saw it at the theater.
But did you see it in IMAX?
I saw it at the theater that. I saw it in IMAX.
I saw it in 4D or
I saw it on. I think I have the ticket stub still. I think it was like October 5th, like the first week of October.
I was a Thursday night first showing, IMAX showing. And then the second time I saw it, I was, because again, I'm like, I feel like I can only watch this movie correctly, or as correctly as I can. So like on my 4K television with my surround sound system, that's the only way I'd let myself watch it. Like I wouldn't watch it anywhere else other than that again. But yes, I was fortunate enough to see it in IMAX.
Yeah, my viewing is very strange. I didn't see it in an actual theater, but I did kind of get the theater experience. Because
did you watch it on a DS in the theater while another movie was playing?
You watched it on a poor compression on the Game Boy Advance.
It was a PSP, okay, like it right. No. But sorry, my mom's playing with the dogs, so you might hear some noise. Anyways, I didn't really know the movie was coming out. I had no idea. I think it was 2017 when I saw it. But when like I was saying, like when I was at MSU, they were doing weekly movie showings in one of the halls, in one of the lecture halls, and my friend and I, we would go see some of them. So we saw Blade Runner, and then we're like, oh, it's pretty good. He and I both kind of enjoyed it. So like, oh, let's go see 2049, and it was the same lecture hall I took my math class in that year, which was very funny to me.
Wow.
So it was in theater. It had good enough sound to where I could feel and appreciate the soundtrack, which is strange. I didn't think they'd have good enough sound in a place like that, but strangely enough, they did. So yeah, it wasn't IMAX or anything, but it was very strange. And then, but like, I don't know, that movie hit different for me because as soon as we left, my friend was like, that was a pretty good movie, and then I was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen. I was in that mode.
And then you joined the Kinoplex.
For sure.
Yeah.
I joined the Kinoplex.
5 stars,
Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Top 10 movies of all time.
Hell yeah! I don't have a Letterboxd.
Since format is such a big topic with this movie, and also there's a whole like retro format revivalism going on in the last few years with vinyl and even cassette tapes at this point, and now there's people on eBay will make modern movies in VHS format, and so you can buy VHS. So that's especially with a movie like this that is a sequel to an 80s movie, so it's got a lot of that kind of vibe. Would you watch this movie on a VHS tape?
No, absolutely not. Just watch it. Just watch it in 1080p. Don't even watch it on DVD. Just watch it in 1080p.
Yeah.
4K, bro.
But I think I will for the experience. I don't know if I'd make it through the whole thing. Get sick of it and just
maybe
buy
for
a
shits
Blu-ray
and
or
giggles,
something. But
I think it'd be really. It's never like. Obviously, I wouldn't watch it the first time that way, and I wouldn't watch it like if it had been a while since I'd seen it and wanted to watch it again. But like, I just saw it Saturday, so like a week from now, I kind of think I would. Like, if I just had an old CRTV and the VHS, like I think it'd be kind of interesting to pop it in and see if there's like any value, like added kind of novelty value from that.
Yeah, but the thing is, the movie isn't made really for that format.
No, it's not at all. And I have no experience with how movies just put onto VHS by some random dude look like. It's probably not good.
Yeah, I feel like everything would be worse. Like, you'd lose so much of the crispness of like the visuals and stuff.
It'd be cool to have,
so much would be blurry.
Yeah, I do
Go ahead,
say
Daffy.
this. I looked it up on eBay to make sure like that this is one of the movies people have done that way, and it is, and I'm very close to just purchasing it right now because it just the case and everything looks so great.
It's like something that Cinema Massacre would have in his collection. Like if he does like a film review, he'll bring out the VHS for it.
Yeah.
What are the odds, Taylor, that you buy it right now?
I if I had the money, I would, but I'm trying to get a PS5. So, the only movie I bought one movie like that, and it was Mandy. But I think Mandy's a really interesting case because it was like an official release. Like they actually kind of specifically formatted it for VHS. It wasn't just some random dude slapping it on a VHS.
How do you think the White House would look on it in
Absolutely.
VHS?
I mean, I think it would look okay, I guess. I mean, it's 4:3, so it would look great on the CRT TV, I guess. So I thought it would look okay, I guess, maybe. But definitely not Blade Runner 2049. Just no. Watch it on the CRT TV. It has like little range of
Maybe if
colors.
I was
Yeah.
drunk, it would be really funny.
I think it's one of those things I think I'm really interested in for no reason and think would be neat until I pop it in and get 10 minutes in, and then I'm like, nah, this is dumb. I'm not doing this.
That's like, oh, this is neat. Then you turn it off and you never touch it again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I did,
probably.
a few months ago, I watched Doctor Strangelove on the CRTV through my PlayStation 2 on a DVD. So,
Why?
well, I mean,
That's really funny. Which I also looked up just to make sure it wasn't a real thing. I really wish it wasn't the same way people pop something onto a VHS tape and sell it on eBay. I wish people could do the same with Game Boy Advance video cartridges. I want to just own
bro.
every. I currently I own Shark Tale, which is an official release on a Game Boy Advance.
Blade Runner 2049.
I have that on hand. But that's just the dumbest thing I would buy so much of just for the novelty factor of every movie I could get my hands on a
Bring
Game Boy
back
Advance
PSP.
video cartridge.
Bring back the PSP.
Yes, PSP videos.
Only way to watch movies.
Surf's Up on Game Boy Advance.
Someone say
That's
Surf's
a-
Up.
Surf's up on Game Boy Advance. This stream is getting shut down. I this is a very random thought, but I would love to have like framed, like almost like make it into art, but you just take dead mediums or dead formats, like a PSP video or a Game Boy Advance video. Take all of what's available on that, and then just like put it in a frame and
just
frame it on your
a
wall.
huge frame, and then Game Boy, PSP, whatever the fuck they also made.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things that I can't.
Look, it doesn't matter. Let's get.
We should call
Yeah,
Joseph
I'm sorry.
Cooper for this.
That was a useless thought.
2029.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going to Blade Runner 2049. So, Hans Zimmer score.
Yes. Oh, God, it's
Incredible.
so freaking good.
Amazing
Yeah.
as always.
Seawall is
Just
Seawall just hits, man. An underrated part of this movie that I don't think gets talked about enough is, and I don't remember the name of her character or the actress, but
Love.
Wallace is
Love.
Yeah,
Played by
Love. That's
Sylvia
it.
Wilkes.
Love. Her performance is fantastic.
Yes, she's
like
really
it
good.
really. I think the character's a
yeah.
great part of the movie, even though she's not talked about a lot. And it's her performance that
She's from the Netherlands.
really sells and elevates that.
She did phenomenal in it.
But I like how she's kind of like a child at times,
Yeah, yeah.
which is amazing.
Because I think that honestly, on a whole, like there's some very interesting motivations when you dig into it, but on a whole, I think like Wallace and Wallace Corp as the villains is kind of one note. So I really think it's her performance, at least what you see in the movie. And I don't know, maybe part of that's because I hate Jared Leto, but I think it really is her performance that sells an antagonist in this film.
Man, we could have gone David Bowie as Diana Wallace.
Dude. Yeah, I would have reversed
been
everything
great.
I just said. That
I
would have been
wonder
incredible.
if David Bowie would kind of change the scenes if he played Diana Wallace.
Yeah,
I think the character would have been a little different
Yeah.
had it been him. I think they definitely rewrote Wallace a little bit to match Leto's. I didn't think Leto was awful,
No, he was fine. He's
he
fine.
didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't really have enough time
That's it.
I thought he did
do
good.
enough to be as
Yeah.
interesting.
And I say it's definitely not all in his head. He's not in the movie for a long time. Like the movie just doesn't dedicate a lot of time to the character, so there's not a lot to get there to begin with. I think another actor could have really sold it more, even with the limited screen time. But it's not really his fault.
No, not
I
really.
just like the way he talks.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like he talks like
He
he's a
kind of
prophet
brings
or
back
whatever.
the. Yeah, he kind of brings back the old Blade Runner feel, I think, because his mannerisms much like the dialogue and the way people speak in 2049 is not like the original Blade Runner. You know, it's
No,
not
yeah,
as
not.
dreamlike,
No.
and it's not as like. But with Wallace, he's still like he's more poetic, I guess, in his manner of speech. But he's still kind of, to me, a little bit, not exactly, but he still holds on to the old Blade Runner
Yeah,
way of
like he still holds on to the ideas of
Because-
replicants.
Yeah.
weird things. Yeah. But back to Love. I think my favorite scene with Love was when she's like getting like her nails done and then just
Drone striking.
drone striking those people. I was like, what a power move. You know,
Yeah.
Obama would be proud. But I was just like, that was. She was so casual about it, and you know that really speaks to like she doesn't care about these people, you know, and it was
Yeah.
kind of wacky to see.
I also think that scene is a very good showcase of kind of her role in society and the role that some replicants now have in society and the juxtaposition between her role and Kay's role as replicants in society. She is ultimately still a servant, but she holds a large amount of power. Wallace isn't like standing there behind her in that scene, and she's not like she's not just a workhorse doing her job, because she's also getting her nails done. She's getting like being made to be like this thing of beauty and luxury. So she is ultimately still a servant, but has so much of. I think she also is more aware and at peace of kind of this is who I am. I'm not trying to be anything more. But she still has so much more status than someone like Kay, who is looked down upon by his own colleagues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one thing I will credit Blade Runner. I think the first one they said a little bit, but more for 2049 is they really made a skin job feel like a real slur.
Yeah.
Like anytime it's said, I'm like, oh, it makes me feel dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I say it, I'm like, it's not a slur in real life, but it feels like one just because of the way they say it in the context, and it's like written on his everything. Like
Yeah, it's like when they
And-
find out he's a replicant at the scene with the what's it called? When they find out when the girls find out he's a replicant, they just walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're too scared of him. They're like, we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I blanked. I just realized I don't even know if I'm thinking of the right scene. But I think Kay is just one of those characters that just like everything comes together to make what is personally one of my favorite characters in movies. Ryan Gosling's performance is incredible. The dialogue and the writing is really, really good, and it all coalesces just to make such a great and very interesting character. That really does need all those things to be sold, especially as a the protagonist, the main character of what was technically a Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
I guess you could say he's literally me.
I'm gonna shoot myself in the head.
Well, that's
I've been waiting
No
for
more
50
taking on the
minutes to do that
podcast.
joke.
you won't.
I've been looking forward to this.
I will be the new co-host.
I think one of my
Gonna
only
take over.
This is a mutiny. I think one of my only complaints of the movie, which is the most nitpick of nitpicks and is very subjective, not a flaw with the film, is the Elvis scene where Deckard and Kay are fighting is a great scene. I wish that like music. I wish that there was a music track playing behind them the whole time to the fight.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's just
I think it was more impactful if they like cutting in and out.
And you're probably right. I think that's just a subjective thing. I really love that kind of thing. It's probably the right decision that it cuts in and out. It's still a fantastic scene that I love.
Because if they do music in the background, that's just weird. That's not Blade Runner.
It is weird. It is out of place.
You don't want to make it the Umbrella Academy, which has pop music in every scene.
You know what's one thing we haven't talked about, though?
I do. Go ahead.
For both the movies, we haven't talked about this. The costume designs, like...
Bro, I just
like,
need
awesome.
the K jacket. I just need all jackets. I need all guns.
Yeah.
That's it. Give it to me.
Yep.
And I also like just the design, the set pieces for everything. We kind of already talked about that, but like
the umbrellas with the lights in it.
I don't know. It really goes pleasing.
There is.
I like how.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I was just gonna say I like how it kind of evolves in 2049 from the original, but like they did tone it back a lot, I think.
Yeah.
To try to make it a little more appealing. It's not as wacky and wild
because the
as
world
the
is
original.
more darker because they had a big blackout. All the wood is like almost gone.
Yeah.
So they don't
like. Yeah.
They don't have much technology and lights anymore as they used to have. You know.
Because the original Blade Runner is a world on the verge of collapse, basically, and then between the movies does collapse. Like that's where all the there's all the excess and everything is still existent in Blade Runner. It's still being built up, and then between the two movies, you have the blackout, and you have all these things kind of abandoned and left behind, and we've moved back to something that is stable now, but is more efficient, more brutalist. There is not that really grand excess and extravagance as much anymore.
Yeah. And man, I just want Deckard's blaster so bad. I just want it.
Oh, dude, that gun is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone shared it in the Armory chat in the Kinoplex Discord of like two models for like I think it's for the original Blade Runner and the new Blade Runner, and it's like the models for the guns, and I'm like, I need that.
Oh my god.
I would love to like be a Blade Runner for Halloween or something someday, or go to a con.
Long jacket, cool ass blasters.
See, like I would totally wear Kay's jacket, but I'm in Texas, so I would probably like die from like heat. But at least I would die Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Here's one of the normie questions about these movies, but something I think we could at least touch on is what do you guys think of the whole Blade Runner and Alien are in the same universe kind of deal?
As long as they never intersect, it doesn't. I don't care.
I think it's quite funny, but I mean, it's not really important, you know.
There's
not going to be a Blade Runner versus
I've
Alien
never
movie.
heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big thing.
Yeah,
I'm not personally a fan of it.
It's a connection between the Weyland-Yutani Corp, I think.
Yeah. I forget what the actual connection is and how concrete it is. I know it's a very, very popular theory that's just accepted by a lot of people.
You know, there's also...
I think that's a fun theory.
Well, no, and when Kay and Joy are flying, they're going to go to the orphanage. Did you see a ship or something? Like in the clouds, kind of. I think that was supposed to be. I think it's a model of like some ship from Alien or something.
Okay.
I think that's supposed to be the connection. Like you could just make out like there's something huge there.
Yeah. But you know, there's also
cool.
The Millennium Falcon is in the original Blade Runner.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, I heard it. I heard it at least. I hope I'm right. Please kill me if I'm wrong.
Thank you, Ruben. Star Wars and Blade Runner are the same universe. There's no Earth in Star Wars. There's nothing to say that can't be true. You've done it. Thank you.
Hoo-ah.
I mean, Star Wars was a really long, long time ago.
But also, the thing is, some people have said there's also a hidden sequel to Blade Runner called Soul Eater, starring Kurt Russell. And I think it's a connection between the screenwriters, I think.
Huh.
I'm sure. Just Google it up, man. I'm sure some people will Google it up, but it's one of the weirdest things I've heard. One of the weirdest connections. I might be wrong. I might be right. Google it, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. I just
wouldn't
don't. We don't necessarily need to see any of the space stuff in Blade Runner. I kind of want to, but maybe it's for the best that we don't. I don't really like the. I don't know. They just don't feel like.
well, that's what the third one. He wants to make the third one, and he wants to show a little bit the off-world and the
Okay.
revolution.
Well, maybe
Okay.
we'll see a glimpse in the Adult
Yeah.
Swim cartoon or anime. whatever
Yeah,
they make it.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, when is that supposed to come out?
No idea.
30 years.
3 years?
Oh,
But
damn.
if it's a
3 years.
it's a harmless connection if it's never confirmed. So, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like viewing Alien in the same universe as Blade Runner takes some of that very fun mystery away from Blade Runner. I don't know. Like I do like the Alien movies and I like the universe. I just don't like that being what's going on in space in the Blade Runner universe.
See, I just turned that off in my head. I just don't. I mean, the connection is there. That's fine. Or you
Yeah.
can just see this.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not a fan of the theory, and I hope it's never like nothing done more with it. But like whatever connections are in the movie, that's harmless. That's fine. I don't care about that.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Since the genre is cyberpunk, do y'all think there's going to be a lot of Blade Runner Easter eggs in the new Cyberpunk game coming out next month?
There might be some.
If there isn't, I will be.
I think
incredibly
Deckard's
disappointed.
gun's definitely going to be
will
Oh,
already.
that'd
Ah.
be so sweet.
I will be surprised if Deckard's gun is not in that game in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe some.
Yeah, because there's like
Codes.
legendary guns you could pick up. There has to be a gun.
Codes too, you know.
I
Yeah,
want to know how those guns work.
there's a.
They never reload.
I'm pretty sure it's Saints Row
Oh.
4 that Deckard's gun is like literally in. I think that's the game I'm thinking of.
I played the Saints Row games, but I cannot recall.
Okay, no, Blade Runner Black Lotus is set to premiere next year.
Oh,
At least it that's the last anything was said about it. It could
it
have
might have been delayed because of COVID, though.
It very well could have been delayed, but they haven't said anything. There hasn't been any information released on it in a very long time. So.
Also,
They're
I
also
mean,
making a
I-
cyberpunk anime too.
Yes, yeah, that's like 2 or 3 years away.
they're also
Yeah.
making.
Watch Cyberpunk bomb, and then like it turns out that it's just awful, like worst game ever, and then they try to come out with this anime, and everyone just wants to forget it.
There's also the
Nothing that
remaster
will.
I'm gonna
coming
reach
from-
through my screen and choke you to death.
But the thing is, there's also a
You wish you
remaster
could.
coming from the old game, which released for PC. I don't know if you guys ever played it. Me neither, but
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that remaster. I've watched a video on the original Mandalore's video, and like it points to it being a very fun kind of 90s point and click adventure game. So I'm excited to play the remaster when that ever comes out.
yeah. So in Saints Row 4, they have the Star Trek phaser, Han Solo's blaster, the blaster from the Firefly TV show. They got the RoboCop blaster and the Deckard blaster.
Okay, yeah.
So when you're talking about Blackout, I was gonna be like, speaking of Blackout, but we talked a little bit about the prologues before we started recording, but I thought they were interesting, I guess, but ultimately I don't think they added a whole lot. I guess the Blackout one specifically, that prologue kind of added like, oh, okay, that's why the Blackout
Yeah,
happened.
that's kind of important information, kind of.
Yeah, and I feel like the other two, especially the Wallace one, the Wallace one was kind of pointless.
Yeah,
That was the worst one. But I did enjoy watching Dave Bautista beat up a few dudes. That was, and I liked how it showed.
it reminds me of the Animatrix.
What's his character? Yeah. But with why can't I remember Dave Bautista's character?
Oh, Sepper Morden, I think.
Name.
I think his name is Sepper Morden.
Yeah, more Sepper. Yeah, whatever. I liked how it showed like he obviously has emotion and trauma from his time for being a combat medic and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a very large man to be a combat medic.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like he was like, oh, that's just the role of best fit. Like, he was designed to be a combat medic, and they were just like, let's make him a 6'3", 250-pound monster. Like, that's a good combat medic.
I like it.
Not complaining. I love Dave Bautista.
I like,
and he was great in the role.
One.
Like, for such a role.
Also, the opening scene with the action. I think the action overall in this movie is kind of brutal too.
Oh yeah,
Just slides me into the fucking wall.
Yeah, because it happens relatively
it's
sparingly.
not,
so
it's not like wake up, time to die.
Then it ends so like abruptly because he just like shoots him.
Yeah.
And I also love, like, after Kay shoots him, like, this huge thud, because Stepper's such a big dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just a little touch, and
Also,
and you don't see it, but you kind of feel it.
when Love is blowing up these people, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's actually like body parts flying around.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I think I've
it's
seen
wonderful. I love it. Also, shout out to my boy Lenny James, who I love. He's the owner of the orphanage, or the guy that runs the orphanage. He's been in the TV shows that I've liked before. Jericho. He was in Walking Dead a little bit. He's just someone I like to see pop up in things, so I was very pleased that he's in that.
Yeah.
What I hate is how horrible it did in the box office.
Oh.
It deserves so much more love.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew a guy, old colleague of mine, who saw it in IMAX, and he didn't like it. And I was like, dude, you saw it literally in the best way possible, and he didn't like it. But that's mostly because he hadn't seen the original one.
Mm. Oh, so something I'll touch on a little bit is I watched 2049 again Saturday with my girlfriend who had not seen Blade Runner, the original. So she kind of an interesting perspective in that, like, it was definitely like she was viewing the movie as more of a standalone thing than a sequel, and as such, she didn't really. She said it didn't. She felt that the 2049 didn't really do a good enough job of giving you what you needed to know about the original, but that does bring it back to the fact that it's definitely a sequel. Like, you can watch it by itself, but it really does. It is necessary to get things from the first one, to get everything out of it. I think it's still a very good movie on its own, but like it's a sequel. There are elements continued from the first. So I don't know. She said it didn't. She did really like the movie. I will say again, but she felt it was almost like episodic in its structure, and could have done more with its runtime. So I don't know. I thought that was a very interesting perspective. I told her she was filtered, and then broke up with her.
Very interesting perspective. I will now search her address.
That's really cool that you did that, Taylor. What's her name and address? Like, what can I ask?
What's her credit card info? I need to know everything. You got fingerprints too?
What do you guys think about the scene when Kay's boss is like in his apartment and is like, "Oh, what'll happen if I finish that drink or like that bottle?" He just kind of sits there.
So
he's like,
why I like this movie so much more than the original is that like I don't have that underwater feeling. Like the characters, Kay's basically autistic, but the characters are real people and feel like real people, and real things happen. It's not dream-like. It's more like real life for the most part. So you see Kay's boss being a real person and coming over. So I like that kind of a little bit extra characterization and depth was given to people, because that's just another subjective thing for me. I like it when characters feel like actual characters and actual people. So I like that kind of something like that was in there, and it just gave more depth and made the Blade Runner program and the police department, everything that was going on, feel more real and fleshed out within the universe to me.
Very nice.
I hope we can see a little bit more in like the anime, I guess. But get away from, I guess, the police side, since we've kind of seen it a little bit twice. But I'm just hoping we can see more like what the everyday person does. Like, what is, I don't know, what is their life like when you're not in the military or you're not a cop? Or I mean, obviously you have to have Blade Runners in the series and probably one of them be a character. But it would be interesting to have perspective on like what the everyday life, at least for a little bit, because if that was the whole show, I don't think people would like it.
It's bad, Jacob. It's not good. It's bad. They live poor lives. Why would you want to do that to them? To have to see that? Like that's
Rest in peace, Spotify listeners.
Is this destroying everything right now? Sorry. I don't know. I had some kind of joke I was going for that I completely lost halfway through it. So,
we both certainly laughed. So, it's like that forced Joker laugh when he like rolls up his lips.
Hang on.
What's y'all's favorite cyberpunk movie? Without like no Blade Runner or Blade Runner 2049, you have to pick any other cyberpunk-esque movie.
I don't think I've seen any other.
The Total Recall remake.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's a lie. That was a joke. That's not correct. Yeah, probably Upgrade. Honestly.
Does the Matrix count?
Yeah, I'd kind of count it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Does would the original Total Recall count?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Because that'd be up there for me.
Yeah, Arnie's amazing in it. His facial, his face is just always.
I could have seen it in theaters, but no, got cancelled.
I just watched it for the first time like a month ago.
I got it on PSP. But yeah,
what other cyberpunk movies are there?
Well, here's the real Kinoplex knowledge coming together. We don't know shit about cyberpunk.
Ah!
What the fuck?
Oh, Ghost in the Shell.
I'm sorry.
I just heard Taylor scream. What happened? I'm sorry.
Tron, Ready Player One.
I'm alone at my office. It's dark outside now, and my door to my office just opened, and it freaked me out. We have an office cat, and she has learned how to jump up and open doors now. And so it just scared the hell out of me. Sorry.
Well, that's your entertainment for today, guys. Taylor
you know what's another one though?
The Star Wars
RoboCop.
The Star Wars prequels are cyberpunk.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm saying it right now. Coruscant is cyberpunk.
And with that, thank you for watching this episode.
we must end this on this high note, you know. Taylor,
we should at least give our ratings. It's adorable.
Alright, for the people who are listening, Taylor is now holding a cat. I'm not going to do cat descriptions, because if you want cat descriptions, we just call Nicolas Finch.
Wait.
Ruben.
Harry Potter.
Ruben, what's the one thing I don't care about? Oh, that's right. Audio listeners. Frick off, audio listeners.
Of course you don't care, because I'm the one that's paying for all this audio shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Ducks are better than cats.
Ducks or dogs?
Ducks or dogs?
Ducks.
Yeah.
D-U-C-K.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Sorry, but I'm a cat
that I haven't heard
too.
before. It's a cat. It's a cat.
Jacob has his cat too
now. Oh, that's right. I was missing the obvious that you're Daffy.
My cat isn't in here right now. He's probably chilling on the stairs.
Daffy, CEO of Ducks. If I had to rate Blade Runner 2049, though, I couldn't rate it because it'd be biased since I'm in it, but 100 out of 100.
This video is gonna get a flag for animal abuse.
She's fun. She's doing
For
great.
people
She
that are
loves
wondering,
For
he has
the
the cat
audio
on his
listeners,
neck.
Taylor did not abuse a cat. No, he's having his cat on his neck.
She's draped around me. She loves it. She's trying to escape because she loves it so much. I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10. I love this film.
Yo, 10 out of 10.
No movie is a 10
Jacob,
out of 10, Ruben.
your microphone is on mute. It's not really helpful for the people who are
Oh god, he's been
listening
gone for so long.
nor watching.
Oh my god. I can't believe my thing is push to talk because for some reason it was like you have to be pushed to talk in this, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know why. But so yeah, you guys can hear me at all when I was like, this is my
No.
cat, blah blah blah, whatever.
No.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm going to give this a Nexus 8 out of a Nexus 6.
Solid score.
Very solid. That's really good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it. I'm gonna rescind my score, and I'm gonna give it 7 surfs up out of 9.
No, Taylor, don't mess this up.
Editor's note. Sorry I had to end on this bombastic note, but next month will be the Christmas month on the Kinocast. We'll have Christmas movies, and we're gonna have one trilogy. It's a Christmas-related trilogy, and we're gonna have one special, and I'm spoiling it right now. It's gonna be the Rise of Skywalker shit talk episode. So you got that to look forward to. And, well, yeah, I'll see you guys next week.